In SAP Analytics Cloud, we can create a model to contain the measures and dimensions we'll use for data exploration from the main menu. In this example, we'll create a model by importing transactional data from a local file. Note that we can also create models starting with a blank model or based on data from a connection to a data source or an app. Refer to the appropriate videos for details. We can import data from a local file or one located on a file server if the file server is defined in the system configuration. We need to navigate to the appropriate CSV, XLSX, or TXT document and kick off the import process. For Excel files, we can choose which worksheet to import. For other file types, other options are available. The data is loaded as draft data. Once the file is loaded, we can access the model. Because the dataset contains more than 2,000 rows, a sample of the data is initially imported for us to work with. Any transformations we make will be applied to the full dataset when we complete the import process. Here, we can see the details about the model, review any data quality issues for the sample, edit the name and description if desired, and adjust some of the other default settings, such as enabling the model for planning, filling empty cells, and defining the default currency. Each column from the local file is now available in the new model and can be viewed either in the default table view or in the card view. In both views, columns from the dataset are rendered as measures and dimensions, with icons that identify which is which. In card view, we can also see the number of unique values for dimensions and the mean value for measures. Green bars indicate the absence of data quality issues. Any red flags the presence of problems that must be addressed before the model can be finalized. Depending on the contents of the source file and how the system has interpreted them, we may need to make changes to the imported data before we save the model. For example, here, the latitude and longitude columns have been identified as measures because they contain numeric values. We'll change them to dimensions. When a card or column is selected, we can see additional details such as the type and format, details about any data quality issues, and a histogram of the distribution of values. We can assign to a column one of the following types: generic dimension for dimensions that don't require special handling, measure for numeric values that are suitable for aggregation, date for date or time values used to generate a time hierarchy suitable to display in time series charts, organization, which can be applied to only one dimension to support currency conversion and the assignment of input tasks, account for multiple measures collected into a single account structure, or version for different versions of data for forecast or budget purposes. The timestamp type isn't used at this time. Note that the histogram changes when we change the dimension type. We'll repeat the process for the longitude column. There are additional tasks we can perform at this point to further enrich our model, depending on our requirements. These include resolving any data quality issues, enriching date dimensions so we can visualize trends, enriching geographic dimensions so we can plot data on geomaps, enriching other dimensions by adding attributes that define ID and description relationships or properties, and create parent-child or level-based hierarchies for associated columns. Refer to the individual videos about these features for more details. Here, we've already completed these optional tasks. Now the data has been cleansed and enriched as required, we can view the transform log to view, reorder, or delete the transformations we've applied. Now we'll validate the changes we made to the sample against the rest of the dataset. The validation is complete. We're ready to create the model. Once the model has been created, it opens so we can make necessary adjustments. Here on the Data Management tab, we can manage importing and updating data. Here we can see a summary of the model. In the Model Details panel, we can view any settings chosen in the model preferences, such as privacy or currency conversion, which we can access from the toolbar. Refer to the individual videos about these features for more details. We can also see the underlying data source and a list of any related objects, such as stories. The dimensions generated in the model are listed, grouped by dimension type. When we select Account, we can view and change the settings for all members of the account dimension, or click the link to view and change the individual members. For analytic models, these members are the measures we imported from the data source. For each measure, we can accept the settings as they've been automatically defined based on our choices when importing the data, or apply additional settings to build hierarchies, create formulas, define account types, change aggregation types and set up exception aggregation, define required dimensions, or apply formatting. Refer to the appropriate videos for details. Any date dimensions we've created are listed here. The rest of the dimensions display under the generic group. As with the measures, we can apply settings to the dimension as a whole, or to individual members. Thanks for watching.